I came home exhausted and pregnant after a night shift only to shovel snow while my husband slept. Now, he says I'm the one overreacting. I have 26 have been with my husband M37 for 5 years, married for 2. I'm currently pregnant about 5 months. I'm a nurse and sometimes work night shifts. Usually, I come home, we eat breakfast together. Then he goes to work, and I sleep. We had a big dump of snow last night. In our building, each unit is responsible for shoveling. Our strata has a set schedule. And the shoveling is supposed to be done before 8 a.m. and again before 5 p.m. They send us multiple notifications, so there's no surprise. When I came home early this morning, I saw that my husband was still sleeping, and no shoveling had been done. I woke him up and asked him to shovel. He said he was too tired because he worked late last night and went back to sleep. I asked him 2 more times within 5 minutes. But he kept saying he was tired. Finally, he asked me if I could do it this time, saying he would be so grateful. I told him I was also tired because I'd just come home from work. But I agreed and asked him to make breakfast while I was out. He said okay. It took me a while. But I shoveled the whole area. When I came back inside, I found him still sleeping. I started yelling at him, and he said, "I told you I was tired." I told him that next time, I wouldn't do the shoveling, and I'd let Strata find us instead. He got mad and said it was for the house, that I lived here too, and that I was making a big deal out of it. He left, and now I'm so angry. Am I overreacting? Or was he being a selfish jerk? Added later. His argument was that I was going to sleep all day anyways. And I was already awake, while I worked during the day. So, what's the big deal? Added later. 2. We live in Canada. We had 15 centimeters of snow last night. Added later. 3. Yes. He did have ADHD diagnosed as a teen, and has terrible time management. Comments dog and cat. That's a real DCK move. Getting your 5-month pregnant wife to shovel snow. You're not wrong. I'm all for equality in sharing household tasks. But you're pregnant for F's sake, and just finished work to cap that off. Fairmount won the 955. For real. As much as people mistakenly say shoveling is good exercise, it's also dangerous. Wild bro would be so casual about risking harm to his wife and kid. Shimori. You are 5 months pregnant. You are not wrong. And he's a lazy, inconsiderate arse. What if you slipped and fell while shoveling? I've been married for 30 plus years, and have never asked my wife to shovel. She has come out and helped me a few times when it is really deep and heavy. But I take care of it. Is this your first child? I worry how much he's going to help you once your child is born. Yes. This is our first baby. We have been together since I was in university. I was 21. We got married 2 years ago. Minimum guidance 17 to 156. So let me get this straight. A 32-year-old dude decided a 21-year-old girl in college was his forever wife or an easy target to manipulate. Because no sane adult with a developed brain goes after someone without one. And this is not a single slight to you. You were 21. And he was old enough to know better. Just like at nearly 40. He should understand the dangers of forcing his first-time pregnant wife to shovel snow after a long shift of taking care of people without food and nutrition after all of that work so her should-be ex gets to sleep like a baby. Mama bear on her couch. You aren't answering what's already been asked. What did your lazy arse husband do before you moved in and took over everything? Did he live in his own filth with an empty refrigerator? Neurodivergence doesn't give him a pass on taking part in doing the adulting for his household. If he has problems with being an adult, there are therapists who specialize in dealing with neurodivergent people. He can learn better time management. He can learn to understand a proper division of chores. He can learn that there are things he needs to take over because you're pregnant. You need to stop making excuses for him and expect him to take action to become a functioning adult. Please, there are neurodivergent people in every profession on this planet. And they succeed in those professions. You're married to a man-child who doesn't even want to succeed at being a responsible husband. Put the bar higher and expect him to get over it. If you don't, you're going to be doing 100% of the household chores and 100% of the childcare chores. And you'll still be making excuses that he can't help because he's neurodivergent and that's a disability. No, it isn't. Now pull up your big girl panties and hold his feet to the fire. My apologies, I missed it. When we were FWB, he was coming over to my place. When we started dating, he said he was cleaning his house and everything before I came over. He had one serious ex before me. But they never lived together, they dated in college. Then she moved, they did long distance, and eventually broke up. We moved in together after we got engaged. I just assumed because he has a demanding job, he is just focused on it, and it's going to get better eventually. Then we talked to our family doctor, changed his meds, and he got better. I started adding stuff to do on his calendar, making him a task list every night, and texting it to him so he can follow it the next day. So many other things. Everything works initially. Then back to square one. Well, I can't ask him that because our doctor said. Do you tell a paralyzed man to get over it and walk? No, he can't. But you can give him a wheelchair to move around and be productive. So support him and help him find what works for him and love him the way he is. Okay. You're going to have to make your stands now. If you don't, you can expect it to be worse when the baby is here. He should have shoveled. You're 5 months pregnant and just got off working a high-demand job. Does he care about your rest and the health of the baby? Or is he as selfish and entitled as this post makes it out to be? OP, yes, he normally does care a lot. He is just terrible about any deadline. I asked him to set up the crib we bought on Black Friday. He kept saying he will do it next weekend. Then I reminded him that next weekend he said, OMG, so sorry, you were right. I'll do it after I clean up my workroom. Then halfway through cleaning his workroom, he got distracted reading some old book. It's Christmas Eve. His workroom is still a mess, and the crib is in the box still. He said he will do everything by the weekend. We will see. Minimum guidance 17156 OP, I am severely ADHD like this. If I'm with people shopping, expect to lose me multiple times. If I need to complete one household task, I'm going to be doing at least 15 others along the way. I did this a lot as a teenager. I had to learn coping mechanisms then to outgrow being so consumed by one task. Unfortunately, more trauma ensued. And now I have a lovely untrained. So she stays home service dog that happily distracts me when the hyperfocus is too long. Lays on me when the anxiety is bad. And literally reminds me to be on a schedule. It's not her responsibility to make sure I do my dailies. But she sure helps remind me to get in gear and get it done. I understand where your husband is coming from. But he's 37 and old enough to know that these are very unhealthy habits he should have started to unlearn years ago. It would be fine if he was single and lived alone. But he has a wife and baby at home with responsibilities that need to be done. Judgment not wrong. Update. 1 day later. Not an actual update. Hi, I'm Maddie, the husband of the pregnant lady who shoveled snow yesterday. My wife showed me the post. And at first, I was really upset because she shared our private argument online to get validation. But then I asked if I could share my side. And she let me use her phone to post. She's getting ready to head to my parents' place for Christmas Day together. And I'm bored, so here I am. First off, yes, I have ADHD medicated. But my wife forgot to mention a few things. She has OCD not diagnosed. She needs everything cleaned, organized, and done right now. She can't just leave a task for later, it's not in her nature. I told her I'd shovel soon, but she wanted it done immediately. I get it, before 8 a.m. and all that. But we still had time. She kept reminding me, and finally, I said, if you're in such a rush, you can do it. I'd actually be grateful. She said okay. Yes, I forgot to make her coffee and toast. But I would have done it if she had just sat down and chill. She didn't. She wanted everything done now, like usual. Also, I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and have been on meds since July, right around when I started working with a new team. My sleep schedule is a mess, and I was tired. To everyone suggesting exit plans, thanks. But we talked it out. We both apologized. I said sorry for letting her down, and she promised not to shovel anymore. She also apologized for yelling at me and calling me a selfish, lazy prick. Oh, and to the people calling me a groomer. That's disgusting. You're infantilizing my wife, and it's gross. Happy holidays, bye. Comments Alaradin79 appreciate taking the time to put your side. But really, you've got no excuse. I've missed what time the conversation occurred. But I don't think it was 4 or 5 in the morning. More like 7:30. You didn't have time. You let your pregnant wife come off a night shift and shovel snow, because you couldn't be bothered. It then didn't occur to you to even make her some breakfast while she was out there cold, exerting herself in treacherous conditions, again because you couldn't be arsed. You'd had the night to sleep. You should try growing a human, and then you'd know what tired is. I feel sorry for your wife once this baby comes, as I fear she'll be doing a lot alone. Initial_dish 6682 There is nothing OCD about getting snow shoveled because it has to be done at a particular time. You know this and could have set an alarm to go out and do it. Still the Rs. Tips a baker _okay, but it sounds like the apartment says it needs to be done by 8, not your wife, and you know that. Shoveling snow isn't a chore someone should be doing while pregnant. People die each year doing that task, so why risk it? You're about to have a baby. You can't do whatever you want whenever you feel like it anymore. Not if you want to keep relationships with your wife and your child. Your ADHD is your responsibility to address, and it's not a crutch or excuse, so get on it. OP, yes. But I would have done it eventually before 8. My wife wants stuff to be done right away. She can't just sit down and chill and let me figure SHT out myself. That's my point. Minimum guidance 17156 How's that crib bought on Black Friday coming along? OP's nearly 40-year-old husband. Why are you infantilizing yourself? You know how to open a box and start a project. You need to open your eyes and see what you're doing. You and your wife literally, not figuratively, because we spoke, believe that she is your secretary. She's your wife, and this is your household. If she wants it done now, it's because you refuse to finish the task, so she's making sure you complete it. You are a selfish, lazy prick. I never told her to leave you or suggested it. But let's be honest. Forcing your pregnant wife to shovel snow and promising her breakfast only for you to sleep instead. You don't care about her or your kid and prioritize yourself pretty clearly. Edit. Since you have seen my comment, OP, you know your wife and I spoke. Check her DMs and read that link I sent her that made her so emotional from the relatability that it made her cry. For anyone else wondering, link is in the description. OP ouch, she mentioned the crib too. Great. More sharing private conversations. I'm going to do it soon. It's in my to-do list. I still have time. She is not even close to giving birth. Chill. Late _education _16224 Honestly, this doesn't make you look any better. You're admitting that you had your wife, who is 5 months pregnant, out shoveling snow after a long shift. Then you went back to sleep instead of making food for her and your unborn baby. We all have issues, but the bottom line is you have responsibilities and pushed them off on your pregnant wife. You have a baby on the way. It's time to get it together. Accidentally cool. No, you don't understand. He's tired. He has depression. You have to know he is a priority, too. I rolled my eyes so far back in my head at this post. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.